Hi everyone, welcome to Mr. Dyer's Musings. I'm Mr. Dyer, and today, I don't have any particular plan. This is literally just going to be about my musings or my ponderings. Um, I tried to make a video 2 weekends ago when we had really nice weather, and it was about how to start a fire using the friction set. And this is the second time, maybe third, but I think the second time that I tried to make one of these videos. Now, the first one that I did, it was just with myself, trying to put the cameras and things like that. And when I reviewed it, I was like, man, this really isn't getting what I want, especially the close-ups, to be a good instructional video. So I got my camera crew on it, aka my sons, and everything was going really, really well. In fact, it was a great video until towards the end, my eldest, he was getting kind of cold because it was in the afternoon, and here in Ohio, we are not back 2 weekends ago. We didn't really have warm weather. It was warm, like jacket weather. And my son, who had a sweatshirt on and things, I asked him to wear a coat, but you know how kids are. But he could hear him whisper, "Hey, hey, can you go get me my coat? I'm cold." I didn't catch it when I was making the video, but when reviewing it just to edit it and make sure everything cut nicely, I saw that. I was like, no! Um, but that's okay. It was good practice for him, and we'll make the video again soon, hopefully. Today's a beautiful day. Honestly, if it wasn't for coming back from a weekend of camping, that I'd probably be making it. But I just got back, and I'm kind of tired. It's one of those things like you need a vacation from your vacation, after packing up everything and driving back home and all that. So we might make it today. We'll see. But speaking of camp, um, my musings kind of fall in line with that because I just came back from a great weekend of camping with my son's Cub Scout pack and our Boy Scout troop, and it was so much fun. Like getting away from the hustle and bustle and just getting out in the woods and spending some time with others in that kind of way is just it recharges my batteries. And you're like, but Sean, you just said that you're tired. You're like, yeah, I'm tired, but it's a good kind of tired. Um, I feel refreshed in other ways. You know, the greatest classroom, in my opinion, as a teacher, the greatest classroom is an outdoor classroom. Getting kids and people in that kind of environment. It's relaxed, but you also get to do hands-on stuff, and it's just a great way to experience education, in my opinion. God's classroom is the best classroom. Um, so my musings today actually comes from a church service that one of our scout leaders did. Now, I was a Cub Master for 4 years, 3 years in my son's current pack, and I stepped down when I found someone who was he's been great. He's well qualified. He was an Eagle Scout as well. He is an Eagle Scout as well, um, and he brings a different spin to things than what I did, and it's really cool. I liked seeing diversity like that and seeing other people's perspectives. And it's not better and it's not worse. It's just his take on it, and it's been fantastic. Um, but anyhow, I digress. So this Cub Master, he put together a Sunday service, and I live in a pretty conservative area. But even in a conservative area, not a lot of people go to church. Not a lot of people attend church. Not that they don't necessarily believe in a higher power. Be part of scouts and everything. You have to believe that there's something greater out there. You don't necessarily have to believe in God. You could believe in Vishnu or whatever, but you have to believe in some type of greater power and subscribe to the Scout Oath and Law. The 12th point of the Scout Law is reverence. And I think a lot of leaders tend to shy away from it, whether it's because every single level, there's an award that you have to discuss about God, and most scout leaders that I know kind of push that off onto the parents, like, okay, so you're going to do this one at home, let me know that you've done it, and they award it. Like, there's no check on it, there's no conversation. I'm not saying that's bad or good, but I think there needs to be that importance that we do need to practice the 12th point of the Scout Law, and that is reverence. Now, reverence to God, reverence to things greater than yourself in general. get back on track. So the Cub Master, he put together this um, service, chapel service or whatever, and his focus was very Scott related. Talking about the 12 points. His focus, though, in reading was about the Good Samaritan. And that's a pretty good story. It's a Christian story, Judeo-Christian story about the parable of the Good Samaritan. But it's one of those stories that no matter what you believe in or who you believe in, it's something that we can all relate to. There's such a fear out there that people are going to be called out. There's this fear of being judged. There's this fear that you have to be politically correct. And in doing so, you're kind of guarding yourself. You're not putting yourself out there because you don't know how other people are going to take it. But the Good Samaritan, and there's a lot of other stories. I mean, the Quran has got some really good lessons, The Hindu books, they've got good lessons. There's certain lessons in just humanity. We have these shared experiences. No matter what color you are, no matter what ethnicity you are, no matter what your background is, there are some things that just transcend, right? There's stories, there's lessons, there's wisdom out there that we can all learn from. Okay, you don't necessarily have to be Christian to appreciate the Good Samaritan story. Anyhow, he did a really good job. He's talking about the Good Samaritan story. And most of the parents who were there, they just kind of kept their head down. They were listening. But no one said anything bad about it. And the scouts themselves, afterwards, they were talking about it, like, well, how can I apply this to my life? That kind of thing. But I added something to it. And I think this is an important takeaway. And I'm a Mason. I'm a Freemason. So this kind of resonates with me as well. In the Good Samaritan story, you have this guy who is a Jew and he gets beat up by some robbers, right? Sound familiar? So he gets beat up by some robbers. And first person comes by. He's a holy man, a religious man. And he looks at this beat up Jew, doesn't help him, walks on the other side of the street and passes him. And you have a Levite who, in Judeo faith, the house of Levites were the one who could carry the Ten Commandments, right? So here you have this family, this Levite who has a powerful heritage in the Jewish faith, and he doesn't help the man. But then you have a Samaritan. Now, I don't know if you know anything about history or know anything about the Bible. The Jews and the Samaritans, they didn't get along very well, right? You could kind of say they were opposite football teams or whatever. You can try to put it in your own contemporary context that you will. But you have this Samaritan who comes by and he takes care of this man. Like, he bends down, he gives him medicine and everything, patches him up. But he doesn't stop there. He could have. He could have patched him up and be like, all right, I'm going you put you under a shady tree and just leave him alone, right? And that would have been his good turn, so to speak. But no, he goes a step further. He puts the man on his donkey or horse or whatever, and he walks. He walks the trip into town with this man on his ride. So he's putting himself out there. He's putting himself through this increased trouble. He doesn't even necessarily like this guy. Doesn't know this guy. Doesn't owe him a thing. And he takes him into town. And he finds this hotel, motel, whatever they call them back then, an inn, if you will. And he puts the man up for the night. Again, he could have just left the guy there. He could have, like, all right, I've done my bit, I'm out. But he goes one step further. He goes down and he pays the innkeeper. He says, hey, you know that guy that I brought in last night? Here's some money. Take care of him. Whatever he needs. Just make sure he's okay. And if this isn't enough, next time I come through, I'll meet up with you and we'll settle it. I'll pay whatever, this doesn't cover. And then he leaves. think about that. We're living in this world of them, them and us, them and us, and that's so dangerous. Oh my God, it's so dangerous. It scares me as a historian. It scares me as a teacher. We live in this world where it's him, them, and us. This division. We're not going out of the way. We're not doing our part to take care of others. Treat others as fellow travelers through this life. It's a very, very short period of time. We don't know if we're going to live or die tomorrow, or today even. We're not treating others like we should. And this ties in with the Scout motto and the Scout slogan. The Scout motto is be prepared. Okay, be prepared. As a Scout leader, that's what we're trying to teach young people, is to be prepared. Be prepared for what? Be prepared for whatever. Like here's all these skills that we're going to throw at you, and hopefully you learn them in a fun and engaging way. So when something comes up, you can be prepared to handle those situations. Or maybe you can use the knowledge that you have and figure out how to solve the problems. Maybe it doesn't directly relate, but maybe it indirectly relates. Okay, so being prepared. So that's the Scout motto. Then you have the Scout slogan, which is do a good turn daily. Do a good turn daily. So what does that mean? I open up the door for someone. I can check that off my list. Boom, bam, I've done my good turn. Right? I'm good for the day. No. If you put those two together, what it means is to be prepared to do a good turn. Do a good turn daily. And this Good Samaritan story puts it in perspective that not only should you be prepared to do a good turn for someone else, but you should always go a step further. You should always push yourself. Okay, so the Good Samaritan, he stopped, gave him medicine. Could have stopped there, been done. All right, did my good turn. But no, he put the man on his horse, and he walked into town with this guy riding his horse or whatever. Okay, again, he could have stopped there. Right? I'd drop him off at the clinic or at an inn or whatever, wash my hands of it, I'm done. But no, he goes a step further, right? He puts the man up at a motel. He says, okay, all right, I could have, boom, done. All right, he's at a motel, he's got a place to stay, I'm out. No, he goes to the innkeeper and says, you know what, here's some money. If this isn't enough, next time I come in, I'll settle up with you. I'll settle up with you. And then he leaves. This person he never knew. This person he didn't necessarily get along with, and his ideals and his principles and everything. But he was prepared to do a good turn and then see where else he could do. Go one step farther. So this is what I love about scouting. This is what I love about my faith and about faiths in general. Good faiths in general. Like I said, this story, this Good Samaritan story, is not just a Christian story. It's not just a Jewish story. It's not just a Samaritan story. No, this is a story of the human condition. This is a story that we can all relate to. Doesn't matter if you believe in God or don't believe in God, you believe in the spaghetti monster, it doesn't matter. If we treat each other, even people we dislike, that we disagree with, that, are so vastly different from us, if we treat them like the Samaritan did, like a human being, a fellow traveler on this short existence in life, imagine how good things would be again. Imagine that. That's my musing. That's my pondering for the day. I have a lot of hope on our future. As a teacher, I gotta have a lot of hope. Like why am I in this if there's not a lot of hope? But it's been a scary year. 2020 was a scary year. 2021's looking a little bit better, right? A little bit better. Um, Getting together with all these scouts and their families, spending some time in God's classroom, teaching these kids, interacting with these kids, and seeing them just interact with each other, just being kids. Oh, that was a breath of fresh air. That's what it's about. So, as always, thank you for watching the video. We have almost 250 subscribers. Thank you so much for staying with us. We've got a great summer coming. When the warm air, really hits, and I'm not so focused on school and teaching, I'll make sure to get a little more active with my videos and store some back so I can feed them out on weeks that I'm just too busy. But I hope you guys get out this week. I hope you guys find my musings kind of interesting, and maybe you can relate on our human condition, our shared human condition. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. Give a kiss and hug to your loved ones, and take care.